everyone. I'm Rachel McNeil. It's nice to meet you, and it's been really inspiring hearing all of you speak about your work. So this is my work here, circling around this pedestal. There's 4 pieces, and this is part of my Munch series. So I'll explain that in a moment. But I really loved the sketchbook process. I think I prefer looking through the sketchbook to the final pieces. And I think a big part of this project comes from my own kind of mental state during the pandemic and just trying to navigate a world of being more alone than I'm used to and finding ways to put my creative energy into something productive, or my nervous energy into something productive. And so this project actually started in 2018 when I was a senior in college, and I found myself as an artist very much restrained. I felt really stuck, like I was looking for perfection in everything I've ever made, and you are all artists, so you understand how unrealistic that is, and what kind of expectation is that to place on yourself. And so I remember one day I had a sketchbook and a couple of black pens and said, you know what, I'm just going to draw something and see what happens. And I'm going to just do stream of conscious, and it might be terrible, but I loved it. I had a ton of fun, and I really loved the final product. And it was very similar to these final pieces that you see now. Maybe a little less organized, a little more chaotic. I ended up doing several more that year. I did some illustration in a similar style that I ended up using for a graphic design project in college, where we created a fictional coffee company, and I called it Munch. And so that's where you get the name from Munch. Since then, I've done over 50 of these illustrations in larger scale sketchbooks. There's 32 in here. I found the process to be really interesting because I think starting as a stream of consciousness project, but then ending up with like my own rules is very interesting when you're trying to break them through the very project. This project, I think, is that exploration of disobedience with the own rules that I'm setting for myself. So when you look at some of the work, you'll see a lot of repeating themes and patterns. You'll see I'm using 2 colors. It's black, well, really one color, just black ink and pen and paint on white paper. You'll see I favor curved edges. You'll see there's very deliberate space between each of the shapes. You'll see shapes repeated. And I think all of this is me starting to create this visual language and these rules that I continue to follow when I do these illustrations. But what I've loved through this project is being on a smaller scale. So I used to do these sketches in bigger sketchbooks, but using this smaller space, you can crank these out. Just keep doing them, keep experimenting. I always was in these kind of larger scale characters that I was creating. I had little bees, little bugs, amoebas, viruses. And I loved going to a finer line and creating something that was a little more simple and a little bit more deliberate and less stream of consciousness. So this whole project has been playing with that dynamic in my own head and my own creativity. It was very interesting when I realized that I was approaching the end of the sketchbook and hadn't created anything large yet. I had really been enjoying just having a difficult day or a stressful day and sitting down with the sketchbook and saying, well, I'm just going to create something, and it doesn't matter what it is. So I started creating bigger projects, and there's probably 5 or 6 more of similar sizes around my home that I tried to decide between when contributing to the show. The one on the far side is actually from the sketchbook. I couldn't resist. I had to put at least one from the sketchbook up on the wall. And that's what I love about them. They're all their own little unique projects in and of themselves. So that's a little bit about the process and kind of what's behind the scenes. I would love to take questions if you have any specific things about the work.
Have you ever heard of Mr. Doodle?
Yeah. I'm a fan.
And secondary to that, it's mainly more of a statement is I feel like this work is so infinitely licensable.
Oh,
just in the sense
no,
that
it is.
what I'm seeing from it is just
it is.
an idea that can be infinitely customized, that can be put on clothing.
Exactly, and I love playing with it and continuing to play with it like that. And each one can do something different, and that's another element of my own just design work that I've been playing with is creating patterns And so this is really fun to me. It's like
It looks
repeating
like it
patterns.
exudes that, it has the.
Yeah.
It's almost a reflection of the action that you've been playing in. It kind of comes back at you with, you know, motion and fluidity and all of that.
I really love to hear that. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, I love them. And I feel like the simplicity of them could easily be translated into some really incredible like animations,
Mhm.
and especially this one here. Like,
Yeah, I love
even-
the animation.
Yeah, like even when I look at it, it's like moving.
Yeah, it has such a stellar plot.
It does, and that's what most people say when they see it. It just looks like, did you look through a microscope and you drew what you saw? And maybe somewhere in my head I did, but I think it's just those very basic shapes that don't have those hard edges to them, that then you can flow and create
They're
positive images.
amorphous pretty much.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have this particular form.
Yeah.
You can kind of have a little bit of a Rorschach test or like a little kind of cloud. You can
Yeah.
get whatever shape you really want.
And you'll see, like, as you look through here, some of these, like, there's, you know, that might not necessarily give you a character, where there's one in here somewhere. Like, to me, this is very much a character. So,
The singular, yeah.
yeah.
So you're using black ink in this sketchbook and for this project.
Yeah,
Do you like to use color as well?
I love color. I've only ever used black ink in this project, which I think is very interesting, because I think the next natural step is to be able to play with color. But I think this is where I need to do the work, because I'm anxious to do that. I found something that I love to repeat, and I love what it allows me to do, but I'm not sure if it translates to color yet, and I'm not quite ready to take that next step, but hopefully soon, in the next sketchbook.
And you've been working on this for 4 years now? You said
4
you started
years.
this project?
4 years, yeah. So it's a wide collection, and let me tell you, they're not all good, but there's one page in here, I'll let you guess what it is that I wish I could rip out, but I left it in for the sake of the project.
I love the way you continued the pattern on the sides.
Oh,
I really like that, it's really fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like that one is the most fun one to me.
I can't wait to see lunch boxes.
The one that's on the opposite side of the column, like closest to you, I really like that you went outside of your rules.
Yep.
I see that you have the splatter paint,
Yep.
and I really like that you said that. You make set rules and you try to break them, because that's what I kind of try to do too. And I just think it's fun to see something so, you know, you've been very particular, putting the line and spacing it, but then all of a sudden, like, it's like Ralph Steadman with the splatter.
Well, yeah. And this one,
It's fun to look
at. The pen exploded.
Oh,
Just like
no
a little,
kidding.
just like one little dot. And I was like, well, that's what this painting is. Now we're gonna have to work with that. But again, it's forcing me to break those
Yeah.
rules, and I think it's really productive. And I'll just here, if there are any questions, I'll read a line. Yeah. Yeah, as my rules in the illustration style develop, I found the most satisfying to have the rounded edges, balanced negative space, moderate or lightweight work. But the drawings that break these unwritten rules create that healthy dissonance and unexpected new directions that I'm hoping for in my work.
Do you listen to music when you're drawing?
Yeah, lots.
Anything in particular?
Not really. It's a little bit of everything. I'll watch TV while I'm doing them. I'll be in meetings while I'm doing them. It's a good way to keep my hands busy and my mind busy while I'm circling other things.
We have 1 more minute. Do you have any other questions?
Do you ever get tempted of, after going off the sides, going onto the wall?
Oh, I would love to do that. There have been many moments. I'm a renter, but there have been many moments I considered going up the wall. It would make really fun wallpaper.
Yeah.
It would make a great installation proposal for something.
I would love to do. I'd love to do it on a larger scale too. I think larger shapes. Yeah.
You could have drew it all of your 10 feet.
Next time.
Next time. We'll just put some white pages on a full color fabric.
Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.